alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Today I will be talking to you about youth's role in developing a society. First of all, who are the youth? A youth is a person who is between center stage of a child and an adult. A youth is an adolescent or a teenager who is no longer a child, but is not yet an adult. A youth is an individual who will grow up to substitute power from the older and present generation. But I believe this is a responsibility taken. And because they are next part of the cycle, there's a certain training system that has to be taken. And before they take up these responsibilities, I believe they should start from an early upbringing. Grooming should start from an early age, from when they're children. Who is a child? Is there anybody in the audience who doesn't know what a child is or who a child is? Okay. A child is a young human being who is below full physical development and below the age of legal maturity. John Locke, a philosopher, came up with tabula rasa. Tabula rasa means blank state. His concept states that children are born with no mental content, with no built-in knowledge. So from nurture, from experience and situations, they learn. They soak up information. And this impacts who they grow up to be. Children, before they grow, when they're born, they have no competing imperatives. They have no responsibilities. They have no duties. So their minds are fresh. Their minds are sharp. And they're ready for learning both academics and morals. And when I say children, I don't mean a segregated area. I'm talking about all children of the world. Because every child will grow. And every child will go through the youth stage and the teenage stage and will later on take responsibilities in his or her society. As the children grow and progress into youth, as they grow mentally, they start taking roles. They play the roles of teachers, they play the roles of professors and architects and engineers and politicians and administrators who state the policies, who control the growing economy. Youth also play a significant role in contribution to the growth of a society. And I'll tell you how. Because these youth are the pillars that hold the future of any society. They're also change makers because they're change makers of the present and shapers of the future. They make a difference by implementing the necessary steps in their lives. Peers and media influences how people develop. The media. In the world we live in today, the media is it's everywhere. We have TVs, we have radio, we have advertisements and commercials and magazines and newspapers and the internet. And so many social networking sites. We have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have MySpace, we have High Five, even though High Five is like ancient now, nobody uses it. But is there anybody in the audience who doesn't have one or more social networking sites? There's nobody. I see one hand, are you sure? So this influences, it plays an integral role, especially in adolescence, because we imitate, we copy, we do what we see on TV, we do what we read in the newspapers, in the magazines. Peer influence. This is a big factor, especially in the teenage age. Our friends, the people we hang out with, the people we see every day. When your friends always read books, you tend to start reading books too. We imitate them. And sometimes peers and media influence, they go against parental control. And this is why we need motivation. Teenagers need a constant reminder that they're important. They need to be reminded constantly that they're growing and they're going to take responsibilities. They're going to take on the development of a society from the present generation. So parents need to encourage the youth. They need to remind them that they can do what it is they said. They can achieve their goals. When I came out here, I was so nervous, to be honest. But my dad is sitting right here, and it means the world to me that he's here. I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional. And when the youth, when we leave the house, the teachers in schools, they need to take up these responsibilities from the parents. Teachers need to understand students. It's not all about getting A's or attending all your classes. Teachers need to find out the skills a student has in order to build upon it, in order to unleash the capabilities of that student. And in the bigger picture, we come to the government. The government needs to establish schools. They need to provide scholarships for the students. And not only for the students, actually, even for the teachers. They need to pick the right people in the society to train them in order to pass this tacit knowledge to the youth, so that the youth can try and exceed and surpass the expectations of the people in the society to develop faster than the present generation. And this brings me to the 3 E's. The 3 E's are education, employment, and empowerment. Education is we need education. And the government need, like the parents, the teachers, and the government, they all play a role in all these 3. We need education. And from then, employment. Employment opportunities should be given to the youth so that they can use this knowledge they got from being educated, use it to impact the society, to help us grow and develop. And then empowerment, a constant reminder. We need inspiration and motivation. We need to be pushed. We need to be told that we can do whatever it is that we are set out to do. Businesses also play an impact in the lives of youth and how they grow and develop. What is a business? A business is any organization that indulges in trade of goods and services. And a business doesn't mean only a profit. I mean both profit and non-profit organizations. Last week in the World Leaders Forum, the Secretary General of the United Nations, Ban Ki-moon, spoke on how businesses need to integrate and respect the rights of children and youth in their daily operations. Because the youth are the center stage of the community and the environment in which these businesses operate. The youth are consumers of these businesses. The youth are family members of the employees of these businesses. The youth are young workers of these businesses, and they are future business owners themselves. So he welcomed the Secretary General of the United Nations. He welcomed the children's rights and business principles. This is an initiative by the UNICEF, United Nations Children Funds. These are principles that set out comprehensive framework for businesses, the first framework for businesses to take in order to respect and integrate respect children and the responsibilities they have. He calls on leaders all over the world to try and use this because no society, no environment can develop if it neglects any sector of that environment. Be it women, if they neglect women or youth or the elderly or the disabled, it will not develop. 193 member nations of the United States in 2000 came together and agreed upon achieving 8 goals by the year 2015. That's 15 years. And now we're in 2012. I know everybody knows. Okay. They came up with 8 goals. And among these 8 goals, 6 of the goals they directly affect the youth. I should have had them on my side, but I don't. And I want everyone in the audience to listen to these 6 goals and see how they directly affect the youth. And these 6 goals, if they were to be achieved, they would speed up the development of a society. The first goal is eradicating poverty. The second goal is providing basic universal education. The third goal is promoting gender equality. The fourth goal is the rate of reducing the mortality rate of children. The fifth goal is providing better and promoting maternal care. And the last goal is fighting and combating deadly diseases such as HIV/AIDS and cancer and malaria. So all these 6 goals directly affect the youth out of the 8. And I'm talking about 193 member nations of the United Nations. So it shows that no society will develop if they won't develop socially, economically, politically, or religiously if they do not respect the rights of the youth. Because the youth are not only playing a role in developing the future. The youth are the future. Thank you very much.